So that was insane. The Switch 2 reveal just happened. I have a lot of thoughts. These kinds of things usually take me a long time to script and then edit, but I kind of just want to get my thoughts out there as soon as possible. So I'm going to ramble my thoughts at the camera and hopefully it all works out just as well. You let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. So important stuff. This console was literally most people's wish list, and wish list that people would rebut. Nintendo wouldn't do that. Nintendo wouldn't do 120 FPS for the Switch 2 screen. Nintendo wouldn't do 4K resolution. Nintendo wouldn't do built-in voice chat with a whole proprietary Discord with proximity chat. And obviously people are going to move that goalpost to now it being, well, this isn't going to work properly. But at the end of the day, they did shock us by confirming all of these things and actually doing them. I wouldn't be surprised to see them work, because I personally, I don't know, maybe I'm a special case. Maybe I have super powered internet, but I don't really have much more problems with my online experiences on Switch than I do on my other consoles. Honestly, I have more problems with my PlayStation 5 than any of my other consoles. Don't even get me started on my Steam Deck. The games are incredible. Pretty much everything that they showed, I think, is either really exciting for a fan base that I know and can identify and say, oh yeah, these people would be really excited to know that that's confirmed. So many third party, this game would never happen sort of announcements happened during this direct. We didn't get GTA. I still think that that will happen eventually. I don't think we have a holiday game yet, so I think we'll definitely see more Switch 2 directs down the pipe. Like the September direct will have the big holiday game, I assume. And maybe GTA will be one of those games that we see during that direct. Just my prediction. All of the developers that showed up, I expected to show up in some way, shape, or form. I did not expect us to get Nintendo Bloodborne. I didn't think that that was going to be a thing, but I'm excited to see that it is, because it is something that I've wanted to happen. You know, like for the past 2 generations, a lot of these big AAA developers would make their Xbox edition exclusive releases and their PlayStation releases. We had the Bloodborns, we had the Sunset Overdrives, but there weren't too many developers doing that particular thing for Nintendo, especially not the ones that really appeal to major Western audiences. Like the closest we got would be something like Bayonetta, and that's a lot more niche in comparison. So it's really exciting to see an exclusive Souls-like game at its peak as a genre even. Like this is post Elden Ring, like them getting their big ultra superstar moment. Nintendo has their own Souls game that other consoles don't have. And on the other end, there's a lot of games that I've been waiting for a really long time. Oh my God. GameCube on the Nintendo Switch Online library is another white whale that we've been chasing for years and years. That predates Nintendo Switch. That predates the Switch Online library. That's something that we were promised on Wii U by Reggie. That's no longer the current gen console, and Reggie doesn't even work at Nintendo anymore, but we finally have it. And the games that are coming to it actually surprised me a lot. I never would have guessed that we would get Soul Calibur 2 on the Nintendo Switch Online library, but I'm very excited that we are. I probably could have guessed F-Zero, but that's sick for the people that enjoy that. You know who you are, Falcon. Shout out you. I'm personally not a huge fan of the Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness games, but I know a lot of people are, and it'll at least be good stream fodder. It's an easy game for me to stream and make fun of and fight with chat. All of this is to say this will by far be the most time I spend in a Nintendo Switch Online library by a factor of 1,000,000, because for the most part, when a new console is added, I might mess around for a day or two and then never touch it again. I think the GameCube is where we start actually getting games that I just straight up want to play, that just for leisure, not even for videos or streaming or anything like that. I'm just going to hit up my friends and be like, yo, you want to play Soul Calibur? You want to play Kirby Air Ride? And Kirby Air Riders, we knew Sakurai was working on something. I don't think anybody guessed he would come back to direct a sequel to Kirby Air Ride. I think most people, including myself, were guessing Kid Icarus Uprising alongside a Smash game. Speaking of Smash, and selfishly, this is a good thing for me, seeing as though I just released a Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch 2 video, we didn't see it. We didn't even see a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. We're not even seeing a Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade, if the site is to be believed. And maybe we do. Maybe Sakurai's coming out party will be Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe we get a brand new Super Smash Brothers, like I talk about in that video, and maybe we do get Kid Icarus Uprising. But None of that was here. What was here was Kirby Air Riders. I'm super excited for that. I'm very down to learn more about that game. I know that I'm going to play that game to death. I love the original game. Sakurai just makes good games. What can I say? What can I say? I don't like the All-Toro Worship stuff, but the guy, he makes good games. We've been talking about 3D Donkey Kong in various ways on this channel for years now, so it's exciting to finally see that come to fruition. I'm curious to know if that is the long rumored Mario Odyssey team 3D Donkey Kong game. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. It gives me Mario Odyssey vibes, but like if Mario Odyssey was an Incredible Hulk clone or something. Mario Kart World was a phenomenal way to open the show. I have been begging them to make a new Mario Kart game as someone that's been waiting a decade for a new Mario Kart. I played the original Mario Kart 8 release on Wii U, like 4 other people on the planet. I'm glad that we finally get our new Mario Kart game because it's been a long time coming. It's insane that it's an $80 game. I think it is an $80 game market value wise. Like, people will pay $80 for this game, but it is crazy. There's sticker shock there. People will absolutely see $80, and the hardcore gamers of the world will be like, I'm not paying that. But the beauty is, you don't have to if you can get your hands on the bundled version, because it's $50 when it's bundled in with the console. Speaking of that, price is crazy. $450, and I don't think it's bad. I don't think $450 is like crazy in the sense that like I wouldn't pay for that, but knowing how much it costs in Japan, we know for sure that this is like tariff influence situation, you know, like pre-console announcement, full reveal. A lot of people were speculating 400 to 500. We're right in the middle of that. That all makes sense. We know that the Japanese price for the console is like what, around like 330 or something like that. That price difference, that says tariff. Like, the Japanese yen is awful right now, and it has been for a while, but that big of a price increase in the United States definitely says to me, we're scared of tariffs. We don't want to have to deal with that, or maybe they're already impacted. I don't know. I'm not that in tune on how the tariffs work to that degree. And on that topic of price related things that had me kind of like, oh, whoa, I was not expecting it to cost that much. The Pro Controller being $10 more over the original Pro Controller, which already was a controller that people still to this day look at like, why is it that much money? Like, it's a good controller, and I understand personally why it costs that much money, because there's a lot of tech going on there. If we break it down and we look at controllers versus controllers, them having the features that they do compared to the last controller, when you compare it to that price, you can trace it and see, like, I can see how that's $10 more. Brand new buttons I get, because the camera button, they're GL and GR or something like that. I'll double check that in the edit. It'll be on the screen. The dock being $110. Crazy, but I get it. Fan built in, 4K output, all that other good old stuff. I get it, but still crazy as far as sticker shock is concerned. And something I'm expecting to have a similar reaction to is the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 edition games. I can easily see a world where the non-Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom Switch edition games are like $10 max, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. You know, like brand new Nintendo Switch games that you get a Switch 2 edition of, like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and Pokemon Legends EA. I can see that being like a $10 upgrade. But most other Nintendo Switch games, even Jamboree, I can see paying like $10. But paying more than that seems insane to me. Like, I think a realistic price that I'm like, this is fair for most games, that I could see myself, like, I would upgrade my whole library of Switch games if the average price was closer to like $5. There's a select few that I would pay $10 for, but I think most of them, you're only really going to get me to make that jump if it's $5 or below. I'm just being honest. I will say though, a lot of the Switch 2 edition games seem to be more akin to being DLC than just being performance upgrades. Like Mario Party does have full new features that implement the Switch 2. It's not like PlayStation 5 games generally, where it's just like, okay, you get 4K and you get like performance mode or whatever, right? Here, in Jamboree, for instance, you get entire new modes that are exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. So it's kind of like buying DLC for a game. I think that's reasonable. I could even see paying a little bit more than $10 for that sort of thing. But I think on average, most of the Nintendo Switch 2 edition games are not going to end up being that, especially later down the line. I could see them like cheaping out a little bit on that front. All that trepidation aside with Nintendo Switch 2 edition games, I think that Switch 2 edition games is like top 2 things I'm most excited for. I think giving a new life to a lot of these Switch games will excite a lot of people, and me in particular. I know there's a lot of Switch games that like even I, with this being my job, that like I'll think about playing through them on stream or making a video, and they don't really land with me like that, so I end up putting them down and never coming back. Like I never finished Metroid Dread. I would love to get a Nintendo Switch edition of that. I would be down to play through Metroid Dread on Nintendo Switch 2, maybe in preparation for Beyond if it launches with that sort of thing. I haven't even finished Tears of the Kingdom. It started as this thing where I didn't want to finish because I was having so much fun with it that I didn't want to have to put the game down, but now it's just evolved into I haven't finished it because I haven't finished it, and I kind of want to fix that. And a Nintendo Switch 2 edition is the perfect excuse to do so. Pokemon Legends EA might not even run properly on the original Nintendo Switch, so I mean, you kind of have to get the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of that game. And we know there's even certain games that get these middle ground upgrades, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet get some sort of upgrade to the performance. We don't know exactly what all that will look like, but maybe that turns that game around perception-wise. I love it. It's one of my favorite Pokemon games, but I know the internet feels pretty different from me on that front. In fact, let's take a look at some of these games that have this middle ground upgrade. We know ARMS is one of the games, Captain Toad, Mario Odyssey, 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Clubhouse games. All these games are getting upgrades in one way or another. And here's some details that might have fell through the cracks for a lot of you. I know they did me. Nintendo's site says that the estimated battery life for Nintendo Switch 2 is 2 to 6.5 hours. That's a crazy large range, but it is kind of, I would say it's similar to what we currently have with the original Switch. If not even a little better than OG. I think OG was like, what, 4? I think 4 was their quoted number. And there's some other stuff that I'm sure the internet will be upset about, and maybe even a lot of my friends will be upset about, that I personally don't care much about, because I mean, selfishly, it won't affect me. There's the certain game carts that are basically, they function the way that discs do on current gen and the previous gen consoles from other manufacturers like Xbox and PlayStation, where the game carts are essentially physical DRM for accessing a digital code. It's unclear to me at first when seeing this on social media whether or not this was just universally Switch 2 game cards or if it was specific games, but according to the website, it will just be specific games that are only downloadable in this way. My assumption would be Nintendo Switch Edition games are like a key target for this sort of thing, and maybe there will be a decent amount of third parties that cut corners in this way, in the same way that they used to do with early Switch games, where they wouldn't all be fully on the cart because of how expensive Nintendo Switch carts were in comparison. But on the whole, I'm personally very excited for Nintendo Switch 2. I already registered my interest for the bundle for Mario Kart. If anybody's getting the Nintendo Switch 2 and also Mario Kart, you're crazy to not get that bundle because it is literally cheaper. The pre-orders go up later for Nintendo, but it sounds like they'll be more reliable, so I'm going to keep that pre-order. I'm going to try to get a pre-order with like Amazon or something like that. See whichever one happens first and cancel the other, or maybe I'll do a giveaway. Who knows? Depending on the performance of this video. If this video gets 500 likes and like, I don't know, 20,000 views, I'll do a giveaway. So that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Share this video with a friend. Check out shop.watchredirect.com to get merch like this. And you get membership perks like early video uploads. You get exclusive podcast episodes. I'm thinking about maybe starting a podcast back up and making it member only. So if that's something you're interested in, hit that up. Okay, that's it for me. See you in the next video. It'll probably be videos dedicated to specific Switch 2 games from this that I'm interested in and want to deep dive into with a script. Like Donkey Kong, expect a Donkey Kong video. Expect the Mario Kart World video. Anyway, okay, goodbye.